All right, so we are looking at long-term asset valuations. So we are going to look at bonds. So to start with, bonds are long-term debt instruments that are issued by corporation or government. These are issued at a coupon interest. They're issued at a predetermined date. So the period within which the bond is going to flourish or have its full term is called the maturity period. So you can have a 10-year bond issued after 2 years, and the period of time that we're going to consider is simply 8 years. So to calculate the value of a bond, we have the following formula. Value of a bond is equal to I, open brackets, PVA plus MV PV. So the I is a coupon payment multiplied by the annuity factor plus the maturity value times the interest factor. And the coupon, the current yield is given by the coupon payment divided by the value of the bond times 100. So let's take note of just these two formulas. So we're going to look at an example here. Suppose we have a 5-year bond and the coupon interest is what? 8%. The discount rate is 10%. So the coupon interest is actually the interest that the bond earns. The discount rate is the appropriate market rate. The face value is the original price at which the bond was actually issued. So these three parameters are very important in the valuation of our bonds. So now, the job of the coupon interest is simply to compute the coupon payment. So small I times the maturity value of the face value, we're going to get big I. So in this case, we've been given our coupon interest, which is our small I. So 8% of 1,000 is 80. So this is the job of the coupon interest. That's where it ends. So the 80 comes here. So this is where the 80 is. Are we together so far?
Yeah.
Then the job of the discount rate, 10%, is to calculate the two interest factors. We have what we call the present value factor and the present value annuity factor. So we start with the present value factor first of all to feed into the present value annuity factor. It's easier like that. So I'll teach you a shortcut. So we have been given 5 years and we've been given 10%. So the formula for the present value factor is 1 divided by 1 plus r to the power time. So since we're dealing with 10%, it's 1 over 1 plus 1.01 to the power 5. So 1 plus 10% is 1.10 to the power 5. So when you divide this, we're going to get our present value interest factor. So some books will write them in the full way, present value interest factor, rate against time, it's the same thing. So this is where the 0.621 is coming from. So we're going to feed this in here. Then to calculate the present value annuity factor, the formula is 1 minus PVF over R. So 1 minus the answer we got here, which is 0.621, divided by the interest rate of 10% that we're using in this case. So 1 minus 0.621 over 10%. So we're going to get 3.79. So this is the value that we put here, 3.79. So when we compute all this, we're going to get 303 plus 621, which is 924. Already, whenever the value of the bond is less than the face value in value term, we know that this is what? A discount bond. So our value of the bond is 924. So to calculate the return on this bond, we simply divide our coupon value over the value of the bond times 100. So the 80 we divide by 924 times 100. So 80 over 924 times 100, we get 8.66. So this is what we call the current yield for the annual bond. Then we looked at another example. The same indicator. So we have a 10-year bond. The coupon interest is 12%. The discount rate is 6%. And the face value is 1,000. Already we know that when the value of the bond the interest factor is equal to the market rate, we call this the par bond, they're equal. But if the coupon interest is more than the market rate, it's called the premium bond. Premium. But when the coupon interest is less than the market rate, it's called a discount bond. Discount bond. So here we want to calculate the value of the annual bond here. So we go again, value of the bond is coupon payment over annuity factor plus maturity value over interest factor. So here we're going to put 1,000, here we're going to put, we want to calculate now. So the job of this guy, the coupon interest, is basically to calculate the capital I. So we said capital I is equal to small I times the face value, maturity value. So here 12%, so 1.2 times 1,000. We're going to get 120. So this is where the 120 is coming from here. So far all together?
Yes, we are.
All right. So now we proceed in calculating the interest factors. I could choose to use the tables, or I could choose to use the formulas. I love the formulas because whether you're given a decimal point, you'll be able to understand how to calculate. So we're using now the discount rate to calculate the interest factor and the annuity factor. So our 6%, so 1 plus R to the power times the 10-year bond. So 1.06 to the power 10, we get 0.55. Annuity factor is 1 minus the present value factor over the interest rate. So 1 minus 0.55 over 0.06. Here we're going to get what? 7.36. So this is called our present value annuity. This is called our present value interest factor. So now we're going to choose these ones in here. So the present value annuity, 7.36. The present value interest factor, 0.55. So when you calculate everything together, we're going to get 1,441. So this is actually the value of the bond. So to get the coupon interest, we divide our coupon payment divided by the value of the bond. So this is the actual return on the investment that we're calculating. So 120 over 1,400, which is 8.32%. This is how we calculate the value of the bond. Okay. So we've also been asked to calculate the semi-annual bond and the current yield based on the data there. So whenever we hear semi, what comes in our mind? 2. Quarterly, 4. So in every case, semi, we usually divide the interest rates, whether it's a coupon interest or the market rate, we divide them by 2. The time is always multiplied by the semi by 2. All right, so in this case, we will need to recalculate our interests and our time periods. So we're using 12%. So what will happen? 12% divided by what? 2. Our coupon interest that we're going to use is 6%. Our market rate, 6% divided by 2. We're going to find our market rate, which is what? 3%. And the time period, we're using a 10-year bond. So 10 times 2, we're going to use a period of 20 periods. So let's proceed. So 6% is for our coupon interest. So because of the 12 divided by 2. 3% is our market rate because of the 6 divided by 2. And the 20 is our number of periods because of the 10 multiplied by 2. So with this data, can you tell me how do we calculate the capital I? So we can calculate small I times maturity value. So 6% times the 1,000. So here we're going to get 60 quatrains. Then how do we calculate the present value interest factor? 1 plus R to the power time. So here we're going to say 1.03 to the power 20. What are we getting? We're getting 0.554. To find the present value factor, we're going to say 1 minus 0.554 divided by the interest rate of 3%. So here we're going to get 14.877. So with these that we can still get with our tables, will be now used to fuse in the value of the bond. So we have the present value, annuity, the maturity value, the present value factor. So here we had what? 60. In this case, the annuity factor, 14.877. Our maturity value is 1,000, and the interest factor is 0.554. So collectively, we're calculating the value of the semi-annual bond. So here we're going to get 1,446.62. So this is how we find the value of the semi-annual bond. So who remembers how to find the current yield? How to find the current yield?
The coupon payment divided by the value of the bond.
Coupon payment divided by the value of the bond. And what is the coupon payment in this case?
60 quarter.
Over
1,446, 0.62.
okay. So this one will give us our current yield of 4.14%. So this is how we calculate the value of a semi-annual bond and how to recalculate the current yield. Okay, so at what point have you been left behind? So we also have what we call the yield to maturity. Sometimes we anticipate a certain growth in our bonds. So if the bonds are held until maturity, they represent some annualized rate considering both the interest and the potential capital gain. So the yield to maturity is actually the market rate of the bond, which sometimes is not given, it's hidden, you need to calculate it on your own. So yield to maturity is simply given by coupon payment plus our maturity value or selling price minus the value of the bond over N. Okay, everything divided by 2, value of the bond, plus maturity value divided by 3. So let's suppose you have a 10-year bond. Issued after 2 years. At, say, 10% coupon interest. At 10% coupon interest. And 1,200 selling price. We're asked to find the yield to maturity if the face value is 1,000. If the face value of par value is 1,000. So what are we given in this case? What are we given in this case? Our coupon interest is 10%. Our maturity value is 1,000. So what becomes our coupon payment? 10% times what? 1,000, which is 100. Our selling price of the bond, 1,200. Our end period, it's a 10-year bond, but it was issued after 2 years. So the term period is 8 years. So we need to calculate the year to maturity. So year to maturity is a coupon payment, which is 100, plus the selling price of the bond from the face value of the bond divided by N. Why are we using 8 instead of 10? Why using 8 instead of 10? It is a 10-year bond only issued after what? After 2 years. So this is that formula. The 2 and the 3 are just part of the formula. So when you calculate this, it will give you the year to maturity of 0.066. So the year to maturity is simply the market rate of 6.6%. So this is how we calculate the year to maturity of a bond. This is how we calculate the yield to maturity of a bond. So I'll send you follow-up questions just on bond valuation, how to calculate the annual bond, how to calculate the current yield, and the yield to maturity. So we end here.